So imagine this, a truly colossal work of art. We're talking 40 feet long, weighing something like 3.5 tons. It's made almost completely from old, discarded vehicle parts. Hundreds of thousands of gear wheels, nuts, pipes, just scrap, basically.
From scrap. That's incredible.
And that's what this deep dive is all about today.
Yeah.
There's this monumental anti-drug sculpture just unveiled in Thrissur, India.
Okay. Thrissur, India. Got it.
Yeah. It's not just about the art. It's about the person behind it. A police officer, believe it or not.
A police officer. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
The sheer effort in sourcing materials and this like wild construction process.
It really is remarkable how something like this comes together. And you mentioned the person behind it.
Yeah.
So the driving force here is quite unique. It's someone named Suvarta Kumar Sir.
Suvarta Kumar Sir, okay.
And he's not just an artist. He's a former sub-inspector of the Shadow Police in Thrissur City Police. An idea he had that he really developed and pushed into this final, very impactful form.
That's quite a combination, artist and police officer.
How his police background probably informed not just the message, the anti-drug theme, but maybe also the method.
Huge physical presence, right? Near Vadakke Stand in Thrissur. How big did you say it was again?
It's immense. The numbers are 40 feet long, 18 feet high, and 10 feet wide.
40 feet long. Just picture that.
And Suvarta Kumar actually claims, based on his own internet searching, that it's the largest anti-drug sculpture in the world.
Wow. The largest.
That's the claim. So, you know, if anyone listening happens to know of a bigger one, we'd definitely be curious.
Yeah, let us know. Okay, so this central figure, this drug demon, it's mainly made from these vehicle gear wheels, right? Which must give it this really gritty, industrial, almost monstrous look.
Exactly. That's the core image. But it's not just the demon. The sculpture tells more of a story.
Right. So how does it complete that narrative? What other symbolic bits are there to tell the story without, words?
Well, alongside the demon, there are these really key supporting elements. You've got a school child, but this part is made of fiber, shown escaping the demon's clutches.
Okay, so the child representing innocence escape.
And then you have the protective hands of the police, also made of fiber, sort of shielding or intervening, symbolizing their role.
Different materials, too, the fiber versus the metal demon.
Right, and it's really about how these different pieces, the metal demon, the fiber figures, come together to create that powerful silent story.
And I think I remember reading something in the source about the barricade around it, something clever there.
Ah, yes. That's a great detail. It's shaped to look like an elephant chain, which is the traditional symbol of strength or control.
Okay.
But when you look closer, the links are designed to look like burning cigarette butts.
No way. Seriously.
It's just this really subtle but brilliant symbolic touch, right? Connecting that sort of everyday vice, the cigarette, to the larger, more destructive issue of drugs.
And it sounds like it was just an epic task. Even just getting the materials must have been step one and a hard one.
Oh, absolutely. The whole repurposing aspect is incredibly impressive. The main material, those hundreds of thousands of gear wheels.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, literally. They came from gearboxes of big vehicles like trucks or buses, and also from places that dismantle old motorcycles and scooters.
So just scrapyards, basically.
Pretty much. The source says they had to pick out the right kind of wheels from these huge mounds of iron objects, just sorting through it all.
I can only imagine the state they were in. Greasy, oily.
Exactly. That was the first massive job. They had to clean every single one. The source mentions using diesel to cut through all the grease and oil. A huge effort right at the start. And then for the drug demon itself, especially the head, the way they achieved the detail is, well, pretty ingenious. Well, they didn't just start welding parts together hoping it would look right. First, they sculpted the head in clay, like a traditional sculpture.
Okay, clay model first. Makes sense.
Then they used that clay model to create a fiber mold, like a negative shape, sometimes called a die. And inside this fiber mold, they painstakingly arranged and welded all those thousands of vehicle parts, the gears, the nuts, bits of pipe.
So they built the metal structure inside the mold.
Precisely. So the mold held the exact shape and detail from the clay original. Once the metalwork inside was done and solid, they cut away the outer fiber mold. It's kind of like sculpting in reverse, building the final form from the inside, using the mold as a guide.
And we're still talking about just a staggering amount of stuff. Hundreds of thousands of wheels and nuts for the head, the hands, arms, even these little tail-like bits.
Oh, yeah. And that includes the giant syringe the demon is holding. That thing alone is 25 feet long.
25 feet. Just the syringe.
Yep. Made from GI sheets. That's galvanized iron and pipes. And apparently even the small sort of tail-like parts that extend right to the tip of that huge syringe, that took months of really careful work, using tiny nuts and bigger nuts.
Just intricate, painstaking welding piece by piece.
Absolutely. Welding all those individual gears together one by one. It was clearly a monumental task. And then, of course, the whole thing weighs 3.5 tons. It shows you the engineering side had to be just as clever as the artistic side.
Absolutely. Building something like this, especially from unconventional stuff, it couldn't have been smooth sailing all the way. Did they run into big problems at the start? Beyond the sheer labor, I mean.
The Thrissur Corporation, the local government body, allocated that excellent location. The funding side, a company called ICL FinCorp came forward and provided all the necessary financial assistance. That combination allowed the project to actually move forward. It really shows how different parts of the community can come together when they believe in an idea.
So, okay, the funding's there, the location's set, the beast is built in the workshop. How do you get a 3.5-ton sculpture from the workshop to the final site?
All 3.5 tons of it was actually transported to the site in 2 or 3 large pieces.
Had to be broken down.
Right, and then assembled on location using a crane. Just maneuvering and lifting those heavy sections into place would have been quite an operation.
I bet.
Durability was definitely a concern. To protect it, they painted it with 4 coats of something called U-paint.
U-paint?
Yeah, which is apparently UV-resistant paint, so designed to stand up to the strong sun and the elements.
4 coats. They weren't messing around. And what about the colors? Does it look like rusty metal, or did they paint it specific colors?
They used a specific palette. The main colors are black, golden, silver, and copper. Well, the source emphasizes making growing children, young people, understand the truly horrific reality, the face of drugs.
So a preventative message for the youth.
Yes, and also aiming to save future generations from the grip of what it calls the drug mafia. It's framed as this really stark warning.
A warning and almost a call to action, like a reminder to stop the country from, as the source puts it, descending into ruin. That's strong language.
It is very strong. It's direct, uncompromising.
And there's that concluding thought in the source about the philosophy behind it. It's quite poignant.
Yeah, I liked that part. It says the goal isn't really to ask, oh, will anyone actually be saved just by seeing this thing?
Right, not about guaranteeing outcomes.
Exactly. It's more like, let's try. Let's just do what we can. It's about empowering those who maybe want to be saved, who are looking for a way out, and also about standing together, as a community, as a country, for a good cause.
Let's try. That's powerful in itself.
Absolutely. And if you step back and look at the bigger picture, this sculpture is such a fantastic example of how art, especially art made from repurposed stuff, can really hit hard.
How so? The repurposing adds another layer.
I think so, yeah. By taking these discarded, broken vehicle parts, things literally thrown away, and transforming them into this massive, meaningful statement, it speaks volumes about redemption, doesn't it?
Redemption and renewal.
Yeah. It connects the anti-drug message, which is about saving people, saving lives, with the physical act of saving these objects, these resources. It resonates on that extra symbolic level.
Saving people, saving objects, maybe saving the community in a way.
Exactly. It's not just art about change. It feels like art as a catalyst for change. The transformation is baked right into its materials.
Wow. So we've just taken this deep dive into Thrissur's incredible anti-drug sculpture. It really is quite a story, this blend of artistic vision, serious engineering, and a whole community pushing to tackle a huge social issue.
A real testament to what's possible.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful reminder, I think, that sometimes the biggest impact, the most profound statements, can come from the most surprising creations. And maybe from the most unexpected acts of redemption, both human and material.